I'm going to talk about how to figure out the rule or the equation for a set of data that you have graphed or that you have the table or ordered pairs for. So let's take a look at this situation. Sona has some dimes. Adil offers to give her nickels for her dimes. The graph shows a relationship between the number of dimes Sona gives to Adil and the number of nickels she receives in exchange. Find a rule to describe the pattern. So let's say she has 1 dime. Adil is going to give her 2 nickels. If she has 2 dimes, Adil is going to give her 4 nickels. So they gave us the ordered pair here, so I'm going to write an ordered pair. I don't need to write an ordered pair to find the rule, but I think it's very helpful, especially if you're stuck. So this is 2, 4. She has 3 dimes. He gives her 6 nickels, so this ordered pair is 3, 6. If he has 4 dimes, if she has 4 dimes, he gives her 8 nickels, so that's 4, 8. Now, if I look at these ordered pairs, I need to figure out, well, what do I have to do to x to get y? Well, I have 1, 2 as my first ordered pair. Now I can either it's getting bigger, so, y gets bigger, so is bigger than x. So I need to either multiply or add to get this bigger number. So I can either multiply this by 2 to get 2, or I can add 1 to get 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2. So now I'm going to go to the next ordered pair and see which one of those fits. 2 times 2 is 4, so that works. 2 plus 1 is 3. So that doesn't match this ordered pair, so it's not going to be plus 1. My pattern is times 2. Now, if they gave you a letter to represent these amounts on the different axes, you would use that letter. But let's say they didn't give it to you. So I'm going to call this D for dimes, N for nickels. Now, traditionally, the way people tend to write equations, although you don't have to write it this way, is to say that is to write the y-axis first. So n equals something times 2, because times 2 is my pattern. So what am I multiplying times 2 to get the number of nickels? Well, it's the number of dimes. So nickels equals dimes times 2. This is my rule. This is my equation. This is what you'll be looking for in the homework. The other thing that they ask you in the homework is this additive or multiplicative? That means, am I adding to whatever's on the x-axis, or am I multiplying? Well, in this case, we're multiplying. So this is multiplicative. Multiplicative. So on your homework, you need to have both of these. You need to have the rule and whether it's multiplicative or additive. Here's another example. Jack mails some magazines in a box. The graph shows the relationship between the number of magazines and the total weight of the magazines and the box. So if he puts 1 magazine in the box, he has a total of, the whole thing weighs 3 ounces. So my first ordered pair is 1, 3. If he has 2 magazines, the whole thing weighs 4 ounces. So my next ordered pair is 2, 4. If he has 3 magazines, the whole thing, including the box, weighs 5 ounces. So my next ordered pair is 3, 5. And if I have 4 magazines, the whole thing, including the box, weighs 6 ounces. So that is 4, 6. Okay, so now I need to figure out what the rule is for this. What's the pattern? So I look at my first ordered pair, 1, 3. Now if I multiply 1 times 3, I will get 3. If I take 1 and I add 2, I will also get 3. So my pattern is either times 3 or or plus 2. So let's look at my next one. So if I multiply 2 times 3, I get 6. That's not 4. I'm looking for 4. If I add 2 plus 2, I get 4. So plus 2 must be my pattern. So my pattern is additive because I'm adding. Okay, so I don't have any, they didn't give me the variables here, so I'm going to create some variables. M for magazine, W for weight. So W equals, is going to be equal M plus 2. All I have to do is say this letter equals this letter, and then whatever the pattern is after that. The weight equals the number of magazines plus 2. Now what this represents is what this tells me is that each magazine is 1 ounce, and then the box is 2 ounces. So every time I add a magazine, I add another ounce to the weight, but this plus 2 that I add to in every single situation is the weight of the box. So that's how you would translate that rule into understanding it in real life.